Hello everyone, welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This is for the Fight of the Night between Mike Perry and Alex Cowboy Oliveira, Platinum Mike Perry and Alex Cowboy Oliveira, at the BB&T Center in Sunrise, Florida for UFC Fight Night 150, or UFC on ESPN Plus 8, where the main event was between Jack Hermansson and Ronaldo Jacare Souza, but that's not the fight we're talking about. We're talking about the fight, one of the fights in the middle of the main card, between Mike Perry and Alex Oliveira. Now, given the quality of fights that these two can put out, I almost said matches like it was wrestling. Given the quality of fights that these two can put out, I'm not surprised that this would have won Fight of the Night. When I was first looking up on my phone earlier, however, the bonus awards didn't immediately pop up, so I had to click on like the different one fighter's name from each match, and I'm lucky I started from the top and worked my way down. Because it was like, Jack Hermansson didn't have it, Greg Hardy and his fight didn't have it, and I was like, Mike Perry, of course he would have had it. But, all in all, well, I'm here to tell you my thoughts on the fight, and I thought the fight was okay, if I'm being honest. Round one, a few things I'll point out. Really like both fighters, naturally. Like Alex Oliveira and Mike Perry are just really great fighters. I like the referee, whose name I think was Larry Downs Jr., I think his first name was Larry. He did a really great job officiating this one, especially for someone who I haven't really seen before. I think he did swell. And as always, Dominic Cruz on commentary is always a bonus from me, and the crowds were really good. I actually quite like the crowds, because they were, mostly throughout most of the match, they were yelling Perry's name like it was Jerry Springer. They kept going, Perry, 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 and I was like, I like that, that's good. But yeah. So, I believe Mike is actually from Florida. Quick mooch. Well, he lives there, but he was born in Michigan, so... But yeah, so obviously first round starts, the two... Like, one thing I found interesting about the start was that Alex threw a spinning back kick before the timer even popped up. The two didn't touch gloves, Alex Oliveira just straight up went for a spinning back kick, then the timer popped up. I was like, yeah, gotta do what you gotta do, especially against someone like Mike Perry, who's notoriously difficult to knock down. Like, he's one of the toughest bastards in the welterweight division, without a doubt. So the fight starts, and the two had some really good striking exchanges early on, but the main story of round one was the clinch game. There was a moment where they both got each other with a clinch, and they spent a solid amount of time against the cage, but it wasn't boring. They both managed to move really well. And when it eventually broke, Mike Perry landed a really good sort of counter elbow, which was the first super big shot of the fight. Round one was that clinch and that big shot, and a lot of really big shots throughout, and Mike Perry did score a couple of knockdowns on Oliveira. But personally, I feel like Oliveira won the first round. Just narrowly, though, I feel like Mike Perry's striking was what won him the round, but if it was just wrestling alone, then I definitely feel like Oliveira had it. And he had the better of some of the striking exchanges, but it was definitely in the clinch where he did his best work. Whereas Mike Perry definitely had the advantage in striking, although near the end of the first round, Alex did land a crisp right hand that pushed Perry against the cage, and then landed a good couple of combos from that. So, that was basically round one. Round two, there wasn't really as much wrestling. Round two was definitely more of a striking round. There was a lot of really big shots, and well, after the end of the first round, Mike Perry's nose was a bit busted up. He was bleeding, and Oliveira wasn't really suffering too much damage. He cut open Mike Perry quite a bit, actually, mostly on the left side of his face. He did open a couple of cuts, and there was a fair bit of blood. Not like super squeamish levels, but, there was blood. That's basically all you get. There was blood involved. Of course there was. It's a Mike Perry fight. There's going to be blood somewhere. For a guy who's notoriously difficult to knock down, and I don't think has ever been knocked out, he's easy to cut open. It's weird. I don't think I've seen a Mike Perry fight where he hasn't bled, to be honest, and this fight was obviously no exception. And yeah, round two was a lot of really big shots. I definitely feel like Mike Perry had round two. He landed some really good combos following on the shots. He did get a good couple of knockdowns. There was a little bit of clinch work, not as much as it was in round one. I think there was a point where Mike Perry sort of resigned himself to backing against Cage, being quite in the clinch. But at the end of round two is where things got interesting. Like, as the horn sounded for the fighters to go back into their corners, Oliveira was hopping a bit, and he dislocated one of the toes on his right foot. And I didn't see it in the in-between. I don't really think I got the chance to see it in the in-between, or they just didn't show it. the Koji's actually popped the dislocated toe, back to where it was. That's like, yeah, that's one way to solve that problem. I mean, fighters have had broken toes before. I don't think any of them have had them fully dislocated to the point where the coaches are just like, alright, give me that. I don't know if that's what that sounds like. But that was, I'll gotta admit, that was actually kind of cool to hear that happen. Even if I didn't see it happen, like, I don't know how far coaching can go in corner, but I feel like repairing a dislocated body part, yeah, I feel like that's kind of, if I'm being honest. And plus, it would have stopped Mike Perry from winning by a doctor stoppage in a really boring way. Because doctor stoppage wins are never, like, they're never great unless they feel exciting enough, but yeah, I'm really glad the fight didn't end there. So, we did get a third round, and I wasn't a big fan of the third round. By this point, I feel like both fighters were really exhausted, even though Oliveira's toe was placed back in where it was supposed to be. There wasn't a lot of movement. Oliveira wasn't doing as many of his spinning moves. He did do his karate stance a couple of times in the third round. He did it a fair few times in the fight, mostly in round 2. He landed a lot of good spinning shots through the fight, but in round 3 he just didn't really do as much, and Mike Perry definitely got the better of him. So, yeah, I definitely feel like Mike Perry won. There was a few moments where it got exciting in round 3, but there was way too many long breaks in between the super, moments, which I didn't expect from these two. I feel like it could have been, if it should have been a lot more of a war between these two. Like Oliveira's fight with Yancy Medeiros, and most of Mike Perry's fights before this one, like, he's known for having that style. I don't know. I feel like overall this fight gets a 6 out of 10, maybe. Like, the first 2 rounds were really, really solid. Round 2 was absolutely brilliant. Round 1, had a really good balance to it. I just don't think Mike Perry won by unanimous decision, mate. Maybe split decision, without a split decision, but I feel like Oliveira did enough in round 1 to at least score some of the judges' favour. It was a close unanimous decision win, but it didn't feel that way to me. I absolutely think Mike Perry should have won, and I've got no problem with him winning. I just don't think it should have been unanimous. I don't know. I didn't hate the fight completely though, but round 3 was way too much of a dip in quality for me to consider it a front runner for my favourites of the year, which is kind of a letdown considering the talent involved. Because Mike Perry is really good, Alex Oliveira, he's really good too, especially when he really wants to be good. I don't know. It was good. I just wouldn't watch it again immediately. Especially after the last 3 fights I covered as well, which were all really, really amazing. There's one who's just sort of like, it was like, round 1, round 2, round 3. Yeah. But yeah, it was decent. It wasn't really good, it wasn't great, but it was decent, it was passable. I wasn't bored, I was definitely entertained by it, but I wasn't wowed by it, So, yeah. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about it. I've nothing really I can say that's not repeating myself. I'll see you all soon. I believe I'll see you for the next Music of the Month episode first, and then PBW streaming, and hopefully not long after that the Parkway Drive backtracking episode. So yeah, it's all pretty much going great. Really good. I'm gonna have a quick drink of this thing, which I'm not sponsored by. I just like this stuff. I do like pink lemonade. Anyway, I'll see you all on Wednesday, I think. I believe that's the first. Hang on. Let me check my calendar. Dooby-dooby-doo. Yes, Wednesday. I'll see you all there for the Music of the Month. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye. Yeah, fingers look weird there. See ya.